AI was supposed to make business easier. Instead, a lot of smart business owners feel like they're suddenly bad at their jobs. They're thinking more, correcting more, second guessing themselves more, and quietly wondering if this technology is so dang powerful, why does it feel harder? The fear isn't AI is going to replace me. And it's not even I don't understand the technology. It's this. Why does this tech stuff make me feel stupid?
Whoa, hold on. These are operators, builders, people who've run real businesses, made payrolls, signed leases, solved real problems.
Okay, exactly, Hal. And now they're sitting in front of a blinking cursor, feeling like they're failing a test that they never even agreed to take.
That's not a competency problem. That's a design failure.
Okay, yes. And today we're going to call that out. We're going to call out why AI feels frustrating for capable leaders, why that frustration is not a personal failure, and why, if you understand it correctly, it's actually a signal that you need to be paying attention to. I'm Kim.
And I'm Hal.
And this is Small Business Big AI, the podcast for operators who are done reacting to technology and ready to build a technology-enabled superpower on purpose.
This is part one of a three-part series we're calling The Leadership Nobody Trained You For.
Because what's happening right now with AI isn't a tools problem. It is a leadership gap. And today, we're breaking down why AI feels harder than it should and why the people who are struggling the most are often the ones actually doing the most right. Okay, so here's what's happening in the market right now. So the conversation around AI has officially changed. Now, we're past the phase of should I use this? Most business owners already said yes to that. They've opened the account, they've tested the tools, they've experimented. So the real question now sounds like this. Why does this feel messier than everyone promised?
And that's not just anecdotal. We're seeing it in the data like the Gardner Report. Most AI initiatives never make it out of experimentation. They stall, they fizzle, they quietly get labor not worth the effort.
And here's the dangerous part. The market keeps responding with just learn the tool, write better prompts, integrate it into your workflow. But that advice assumes that AI behaves like software, and it doesn't.
Okay, pause just for a minute, because that's not how it's being sold. Every platform out there is being pitched as a tool upgrade. Faster, cheaper, smarter.
I mean, exactly. So, what business owners thought they were buying was really a better hammer. And what actually showed up was delegated intelligence. And intelligence, Hal, doesn't behave like software. I mean, it needs direction, it needs context, and it needs standards.
So they weren't failing. They were handed a tool without a manual.
Right.
They were managing something they didn't even realize they had hired.
Yes. So think about it. When you buy accounting software, it comes with training videos, a support line, maybe even an onboarding specialist. And then also, when you hire an employee, you have an orientation process, a job description, and performance metrics. But with AI, you download an app, you're handed a blinking cursor, and you're expected to just figure it out. I mean, no training, no expectations, no shared definition of good.
So when this feels exhausting,
It's because you're doing invisible leadership work without realizing that's what it is. And that's the disconnect that we're seeing everywhere right now. The people building AI think in features, but operators, small business owners, they think in outcomes. And those two groups, they're not even speaking the same language, and there is no translation layer in between.
that's interesting because in every other business relationship with a vendor, a consultant, an employee, you expect some type of translation layer, someone who bridges the gap.
I mean, right, which is why the smartest operators are the most frustrated, Hal, because they can feel the potential, but they don't have the operating model yet. So here's the pattern I keep seeing. And if you've touched AI at all, this is going to sound familiar. Now, a business owner opens up one of these tools, maybe ChatGPT, maybe Claude, maybe something niche their industry just absolutely swears by. And they ask it for help, write an email, summarize a document, they map out a marketing plan. And what comes back is fine. Not wrong, not embarrassing, just fine.
Which is almost worse.
Exactly. Because fine is dangerous when you know what good looks like. So these are operators. They've built businesses, they've developed taste, and they know what they would never send to a client.
They can feel it immediately. This isn't it.
That's right. So they try again, then they tweak the prompt, they add more detail, they rephrase the question. But you know how now it's been 45 minutes or really like an hour. And at the end, they're staring at something and thinking, well, heck, I could have written this myself in 15 minutes.
And that's the moment right there. That's when people quietly decide this isn't worth it.
Yes. And here's where it turns from frustrating to personal because then they open LinkedIn or some other social media platform and they see someone talking about how AI saved them 10 hours a week and how it transformed their business and how they doubled revenue, streamlined operations and found clarity. And they don't think, "Oh, that took time." They think, what am I missing?
And the gap between the promise and the reality starts to feel like a personal failure.
Exactly. But here's the part that nobody is honest about. And those success stories, I mean, most of them came after months of trial and error. I mean, it came after broken workflows and bad outputs, false starts. And a lot of the people who are sharing those wins had advantages. I mean, most of them came from technical backgrounds and they had time to experiment, or they even had teams to help them implement this.
So the playing field isn't as level as the marketing may make it seem.
That's right, it never is. But here's the twist, and this is really important. AI isn't actually making the work worse, it's making the gap visible. So when goals are fuzzy, AI exposes it. When direction is vague, outputs feel random. And when expectations only live in your head, then nothing clicks.
So it's not broken.
No, it's revealing. And that's why AI feels harder than it should. Not because it doesn't work, but because the old way of managing work doesn't hold up anymore. Ready to unlock the power of AI for your small business? Well, don't just listen. Become a small business big AI insider. Subscribe and get ready to dominate. Now, let me ground this in something that happened last week. So, we hosted a LinkedIn Live event. Me, Hal, our colleague Rob Belfield, and John, our specialist. It was good turnout, strong energy. I mean, real conversations happening in the chat.
It felt good. You could tell people were leaning in.
Exactly how. I mean, we were answering questions and the comments were coming fast and people were engaged. And then midway through the event, we realized something was wrong. The contact form, the one that people are supposed to use to follow up with us, well, it wasn't working.
Not after the event.
No, not after, in real time. While people are clicking it while the momentum is there.
That's a nightmare scenario.
I mean, it is. And now here's the important part. The tech team had built the form. They had tested the form. On their end, everything worked.
Of course it did.
But in the live environment with real users, real devices, and real behavior, how it failed.
So, what do you do in that moment?
Well, you can't do anything but feel the tension because suddenly the question becomes who messed up? Was it the build, the testing, the assumptions?
And that's the wrong question.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So the better question is why did it works on our end get mistaken for it works for the business?
Thank you. That's what I've been saying for years.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you've earned your moment here, and we hear you. But how this is the point. The people building the tech optimized for a technical function, and the operators needed business outcomes like revenue, efficiency, customers served.
And those are not the same standard.
Not even close. I mean, a system can work perfectly and still fail you completely because working and being useful are two very different definitions of success. So, there was a line in a recent McKinsey report that really piqued my interest. And they said AI adoption is 80% business transformation and only 20% technology.
80%? That's not how this is being talked about.
I mean, not even close. So the market keeps framing this as a tech skill problem. I mean, learn the tool, master the prompts, integrate the workflow. But if McKinsey is right, and I think they are, then most people are solving the wrong problem.
Okay, but hold on. Aren't these prompting guides and AI courses supposed to fix that? Isn't that the whole point?
Well, they're supposed to be, but here's the disconnect. Most of those resources teach you how to talk to AI. They don't teach you how to manage it. And those are two very different skills.
So, walk that out for me.
Okay, so when you hire an employee, you don't just give them a task and disappear. You give them context, expectations, standards. You review their work, you give feedback, you course correct. Now that's management.
Right. That's just leadership.
Exactly. But with AI, people treat it like a vending machine. I mean, you put in a prompt, get an output, and when the output isn't great, they assume they did something wrong.
When really, they just skipped the management part.
I mean, yes, they delegated without a direction and then blamed the tool, or in some cases, themselves, when the results were mediocre.
So, prompting is just asking, managing is shaping.
That's the distinction, Hal. Prompting is just asking. Managing is shaping. Prompting is a moment, but leadership is a system. And almost no one taught small business owners how to lead something that's incredibly capable but has zero built in understanding of their business.
because it doesn't know what good looks like unless you define it.
Right. So features are easy to teach. Mindset is harder. But this isn't even mindset, really. It's really judgment. And judgment is the real skill gap showing up right now. So I ran straight into this myself. When I first started using AI seriously, I assumed the hard part would be execution. Now, what I didn't expect was how much clarity it would demand from me. Not technical clarity, but leadership clarity, like clear goals, clear constraints, a clear definition of what done actually means.
And most operators never had to formalize that before.
No, a lot of that lived in instinct, in experience, in your head. And AI doesn't see that. It only works with what you're willing to make explicit.
Which can be uncomfortable.
And it is. As many listeners know, I'm in the process of opening a new insurance agency. Now, I'm building it from the ground up with AI woven into the systems, not because I love tools, but because I care about leverage. And even with everything I know, even teaching this, even having Hal as a strategic partner, there are days that it's still hard. So there are days when the output misses the mark. There are days when something takes longer than it should. And there are days when really I pause and I think, am I doing this right?
So you don't rush to fix the tool.
No, I slow down and I ask a different question. What decision did I leave in my head? What expectation did I forget to say out loud? Because I've learned to recognize what that friction actually means.
It's not failure.
No, it's skill acquisition. I'm not learning a new technology. I'm learning how to lead a new kind of team member, one that's incredibly capable, but starts with no context, no judgment, and no understanding of what matters in my business. And once you see it that way, then that frustration changes. It stops feeling like incompetence and it starts feeling like real growth. So here's your small step for the week. Don't switch tools. Don't download anything new. Don't learn AI.
Pick one task you already tried to lay off to AI, the one that felt frustrating.
And the one where the output was technically fine, but not actually useful. So I want you to ask yourself this. What decision did I assume the AI would just magically understand?
Not what prompt was wrong, but what thinking did I leave in my head?
Yeah, so did I treat this like a vending machine or did I treat it like a new hire? Did I explain what success looks like? Did I give context about my business? Did I review the work or did I just judge the result?
And if the answer is vending machine,
Then you've just identified what's missing. And that's your starting point. Because in part 2 of this series, we're going to break down what that leadership skill actually looks like in practice. Now, that's it for today's episode of Small Business Big AI. Thanks so much for tuning in. Now, if this conversation shifted how you think about the friction that you've been feeling, if, something clicked, well, then hit that subscribe button and stay with us.
In part 2 of the series, we're going to break down the leadership skill that actually makes AI useful, not in theory, but in real business conditions.
And if you want to go deeper on strategic communication with AI, then we've developed something called the impact framework.
It's how we teach business owners to stop wrestling with AI and start leading it.
And so reach out if you want to learn more about it.
Or better yet, DM us. The link is in the show notes.
And until next time, keep embracing change. Keep innovating.
Keep building your technology-enabled superpower.
Because this has been Small Business, Big AI. We'll catch you in the next episode.